going to discuss about the interview questions asked in the Pegasystems Tech 1. So initially I have applied through the recruiter and the process took 2 weeks. So I have been interviewed at the Pegasystems in the August 2020. I got a mail from the recruiter. I replied back immediately and got a call back scheduling the interview. And the overall process was very smooth and feedback was given on the same day itself. It's a virtual interview as we have been in the lockdown period. So all the interviews were the virtual mode. First, the initial interview was the HackerRank exam, then followed by the Tech 1, and there are multiple technicals, and they followed by the managerial and the HR discussion. So today we are going to discuss about the interview questions asked in this Tech 1 panel, and in the following videos I will be covering up the Tech 2, Tech 3, and Tech 4, and the managerial and the HR discussions as well. So the overall it took 10 days to complete this interview. So let's get started with the Tech 1 interview questions. So the Tech 1 was the core Java. Initially they asked me to rate yourself on the Java out of 10. I have rated myself as 7, and I have rated myself as 7 because I don't want to give them the high scope that I have been technically so strong on the Java part. Uh, if we specify it as 7, that's good. If you are performing well, that is very well. But if you are not able to perform, if you are rating yourself high and if you are not able to perform, that gives a bad impression to the interviewer. So that's the reason I specified it as 7. And based on your experience, you can specify it either more as well. So the initial question they asked is to explain about the real-time concepts of the OOPS. So I have explained them about the encapsulation, polymorphism, abstraction, and the inheritance with the real-time examples. Taking example as encapsulation, I have given the example as the capsule or else the class where we have been encapsulating, means like wrapping all your variables as well as the methods inside that class. So and for the polymorphism, where polymorphism example states that one can be exhibited in multiple forms. I have given the example of the milk, which can be turned into the multiple forms like curd and ghee. Everything depends upon the state. And The polymorphism is of two types, like overloading and the overriding. I specified when to use the overloading concept and when to use the overriding concept. And when it comes to the abstraction, I have given the example as um, the technical documentations which you are going to submit. Like take example as the example as your any kind of seminars which you are going to present. Initially we will be submitting the abstract for them, the abstract which specifies only the uh, concepts which you are going to explain, not in detail. Just you'll be explaining what it is uh, instead of what it is, you just explain about mm, means like what is the purpose of instead of explaining uh, in detail about that, we just explain what is its purpose. So when it comes to the inheritance, how you can take example as your parent to child relationship. So I have explained him the multiple inheritance, and he asked me that does the Java support the multiple inheritance? Yeah, yes, but we will be making use of the interface concept for that. And then they followed by why it does not support the multiple inheritance using the class, because of the ambiguity which we are going to get. That's the reason it doesn't support the multiple inheritance using the classes, because when you are trying to extend both the classes at a time, and if you're trying to call a method, then the JVM may not be able to understand from which class you are trying to call that method. So that's the reason it doesn't support the multiple inheritance using the classes. It supports using the interface. And this is what I have been explained. And then following next, they have asked a question like how the hash map internally works, and asked me to explain in detail. So I have explained them about the get concept of the hash map. Initially, whenever you try to uh, put the value, put and the get both, I have been explained them. So whenever you try to put some value into the hash map, what it does is like initially it generates you the hash code for that particular value which you are putting in or getting. So once the hash code is got generated, then you make use of the hash algorithm and you generate the hash. You will be passing this hash code as well as the table length to that, so that it generates some hash code value to some value to you, uh, where this particular value need to be stored or need to be fetched from the table. So even before storing or fetching that from the table, you initially compare whatever the value key which you are going to pass and the key already present in the table, both are same or not. If there is no key, you can be storing there. If you're trying to fetch, you will be comparing that keys. If both the keys are same, then we are going to compare, like we'll try to compare the value. First, initially, we will be comparing the hash codes of them. Then we'll be comparing the keys of both of them. If both the keys are same, then we'll try to retrieve that value. If you're trying to store the value, if both are same, then you will be overriding the value which is already present there, will be overridden with this new value. So this is how the hash map internally works. So next, they have asked me to write a binary tree traversal program for first. Initially they asked me to explain about what are the traveling concepts we can use, and I have explained that we can make use of the three things like in order, pre-order, and the post order for that. So I'll be explaining you that concept using my STS where I have written that program. So give me a second for that. So this is the program which has been written by me. Initially, I have created as a root node, then followed by a node class I have written. As you know that the binary tree consists of the left and the right child, and we are going to insert the data into that. So I have created a constructor where you are going to pass the value for that, and have assigned that value to this data, and the left and right nodes as the null values, because initially the parent node, you will be having a parent node which doesn't have any right or left nodes. Based on again, we will be comparing whatever the value which you are going to insert next, uh, will be if it is a, if it is less than the parent node, it will be stored on the left child, and if it is greater than the parent node, then it is stored on the right child. So even before proceeding with the post order, in order, and the pre-order, let's see the add node concept and then we'll go into that. So initially, whenever you're going to add the node into this binary tree, initially you need to create a temporary node, and you need to check whether that node, whatever you're trying to pass, is null or not. If the node is already null, then in that case you need to assign your temp node as the root node if there is no root node already available. If there is a root node available, then check for whether the node is null or not. Then if the node is not null, assign that node to a temporary node, and then check whether the value of that node is less than or the greater than the given node. So here I'm comparing the value whatever you are trying to pass and the node dot data, means whatever the value that node holds, we are comparing that. Based on that, if it is less than the given node, then we are storing it in the left node, then we are assigning the node to the left node. If it is greater than the given node, then we are assigning the node to the right node. In the similar way, you will be iterating till the end of the last node where the node equals to null. So whenever the node becomes null, immediately we'll be checking again the value and the temp1 dot data. Means like the node has already been assigning to the temporary node. So we will be checking whether it's a right node or a left node. Based on that, we will be assigning your temp node to that particular left or right nodes. This is how the add node will be working. And now we'll be seeing the post order, in order, and the pre-order search. So whenever you come with the in order search, in order is basically left, root, and the right node. So here in the same way we are passing the root node here, and we are checking whether if the root node is null or not. If the root node is not equal to null, then if it is null, then it directly returns. If not, it comes here and it again puts the left node inside that. In the same way, it will be iterating till the end of the left node completes, and it will be printing your root nodes every time. Once it comes into the left node, left node, left node, then it tries to print your root node again, then it goes to right node, again root node, again the uh, root node and the right node. In the same way, it follows the similar structure, and you will be getting your in order. The in order is the left, root, and the right. Next goes to the pre-order search. Here the pre-order is like root, left, right. So initially you will be printing your node and then followed by left and right. So when comes to the post order, you will be making use of the left, right, and then comes the root node. This is how the in order, pre-order, and the post order works. I have written this program inside whenever they asked this question to me, and now the next program they asked me to write a program to find an element in an array. And first uh, they asked me to explain the approach which I'm going to follow for getting this value in an array. So there is a two approaches we can do it, like we can follow the sequential search or the binary search. They asked me to find the optimal way of finding this value. I have been chosen with the binary search, as the sequential search takes more time because you need to search each and every element in the array. With the binary search, if the array is in the sorted order, you just split the array into two different means, like the low, mid, and the high, right? So the if the value is less than mid, then you will be comparing from 0 to the value mid minus 1. If it is greater than mid, then you will be comparing from mid to the last value. Again, you will be dividing that into two parts. Again, we will be searching in the same way. We will be doing the similar iterations and we'll be trying to find the value in that. If there is no value, then we will be returning -1 for that and stating that the value is not found. So this is how I have explained them the approach of finding an element from an array. And next, they have asked me to explain what are the solid concepts, solid principles, and have you used them in your programming? Yeah, we have used the solid concepts in our programming. Like solid represents like single responsibility principle. Means like single responsibility principle is like the program should be only uh, aligned to only one functionality. Means like whatever that program is trying to do, means like if you are going to do the order, it should only perform the order, not the any other things. We should not include any other responsibilities to that particular method. It is made to do the orders only. So in that case, you should be able to assign only that functionality to that. This is where the single responsibility principle states. And the open closed principle is like whenever you try to write a program, so it should be open for closed, open for enhancements and closed for modifications. Means like you should not edit your program which you have been written. So it should be open for creating a new class or extending that class and write your new programs into that instead of modifying the existing one, where the Liskov substitution principle and the interface segregation principle and the dependency inversion principle. So these are the other things which are part of the um solid principles, and I have explained all these principles to them in the programming during the interview, and in the this is the final question which they asked me to write the Fibonacci series for the given number. As most of them familiar with this Fibonacci series, I have been made use of the recursion programming here for writing for getting the Fibonacci value of the given number. So here they have we need to follow an approach of stating that if the n is equal to 0 or 1, you should be returning 1, else then return the Fibonacci of n minus 1 into Fibonacci of n minus 2. This is the value which you will be going to get when you are going to use the Fibonacci number here. Whenever you are trying to use the Fibonacci, you will be getting this means like whenever you are using the Fibonacci program, you can write this program and you will be easily able to get your value. This is how I have completed successfully my Tech One interview, as I have answered the most of the questions according to them. So they have been selected me to for the second round, and in the upcoming series, I'll be going to upload the tech one already, as the tech one has already been going to be get uploaded. So I'm I will be going to upload the Tech 2 virtual interview as well as the Tech 3 and 4, and followed by the managerial and the HR interviews as well. It was a very smooth interview. I hope so. This might be helpful for your interviews. Thank you all. If if you haven't subscribed the channel yet, please do subscribe the channel for more upcoming interview videos, as I have attended the multiple interviews in this virtual lockdown period. I'll be going to upload all these interview questions, whatever I have faced, I have come across, and I have attended the multiple interviews like Honeywell and IBM and the Deloitte and DBS, Ultimatrix, Optum, and there are much more companies. I have attended all these interviews. I have grabbed almost around 8 plus offers till now. So I'll be uploading all the interview questions which I come across during this interview. So I hope so you will be loving this journey, and thank you all. Please do subscribe the channel and stay tuned. Thank you.